Welcome to the DanJJing Star League. We are in the semifinals, almost all the way to the finals here. Who's going to advance, Larva or Action? It is going to be a ZVZ for today. I am your host, BisuDagger, and I welcome you all. This has been my introductory tournament back into casting, so it's been quite an adventure. I apologize for any of the audio and visual deficiencies you've seen in the previous videos, but I'm working on it. Gonna get there. I've also switched from XSplit to OBS, which is something that I'm not as familiar with as running OBS. So that's one of the reasons why I'm having technical difficulties after all these years, is because I'm trying to run off a new platform. So that being said, we are going to have Action and Larva, and Action, as identified, is going to be red here. His name is Jiwif. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but we're going to go with Action instead. Larva going to be the blue player spawning at the top right-hand corner. We're on the map La Mancha. Exciting, right? Exciting. A 4-player map, and you know what? It's a fairly large-sized map. There's not a disadvantage here from either player based on their spawn positions. It's going to be a really interesting up and bottom hill battle between these two players with these vertical spawn positions. So no spawning pool yet for Larva. Meanwhile, we do see Action has taken his spawning pool. He has taken his extractor. So he's going for more off his first base while Larva looks to expand and take that safe 12th hatch. Larva defends really well with this 12th hatch play. So even if you can hear the excitement of the announcers in the background, kind of going crazy. And in fact, DanJJing added in a female caster too. I'm not familiar with her, although I'm pretty sure she's popular with the Korean scene. Now we can continue to see Larva. He hasn't taken an extractor yet. He does not have a spawning pool yet. He has nothing. He's working on it. The tech is going to be there next. But we can see that 3 drones are on the extractor and the Zerglings are popping right away. So, is Action going to try and just win this really quickly off this 9-pull speed build? Alright, the 6 Zerglings on their way. Can Larva defend the way he did in his previous matchup in the round of 8? Oh, look at that. The extractor just getting done right now. The spawning pool is going to be done very shortly, but he's going to have to also make those lings. Remember, spawning pool doesn't mean instant units. Oh my god, where are the lings going? Where are the Zerglings going? Has he misread his opponent because both players sent their overlords in the wrong direction? Oh, and it's going to get seen by Larva's overlord. He knows what to do now. He sees the 6 Zerglings. He's got to be well prepared, and a sunken colony most assuredly is going to go down at the natural base, right? Wouldn't you just build a sunken colony now that you're privileged with all that information? Either way, he's adding 3 or 4 drones. Yes, you can see the sunken is going down right now. So he's adding so many drones to the ramp as he tries to also produce Zerglings. Lair tech is going to be on the way. So if Larva can't hold on here, he can win this game. But Action, he's going to come in here. He's got his speedlings done. He's going to engage, and he's taking out a few lings, pushing the drones back on top of the ramp. Will he be able to bust through? He's just picking off drones. He's trying to whittle that countdown. Action knows how important it is that he picks off these drones and does not allow them to mine any gas. Alright, so Action not doing a lot of damage early on. The hatchery has finished for Larva. Larva's getting access to the additional Larva. Kind of hard when Larva is the name of the player trying to talk technically about Zerg with. Alright, so we can see that Larva Zerglings have pretty much cleared out the main and the natural. His home is going to clear. Now, remember, Aspire Tech could be faster. More gas for Action also, so mutas could be here quicker. This layer tech not done, the spire not done. So without the Zerglings doing a lot of damage early on here, Action is going to have to rely on his mutas to be able to defeat the 2 bases of Larva. I think Larva has a huge advantage here. Having all the extra Larva between your 2 hatcheries is monumental at this point in the game. So unless the mutas can do something really sneaky, you know what I I think that the mutas, despite being the important tech here for action, what Zerg players generally do to win the game at this point is to use their mutas to distract the opponent and then sneak like 3 or 4 Zerglings in at a time to kill off drones. That's really, really important here. If you can just go in there and pick off drones, you can still defeat your opponent even if they have 2 bases. That's going to be the keys to killing off these workers. So the Zerglings still trying to get in here. Larva just applying a lot of pressure at the front door. I mean, it may not result in anything, but it's still just keeping action back home at bay. He lost a lot of Zerglings trying to get up that ramp, though, and which means that he is a little bit weaker back at home. The Creek colony was built at that natural base. I don't know if the sunken colony was actually morphed. Okay, so he did morph the sunken colony. He's going to be adding in 2 spores, too. One right between the extractor and the mineral line, which is going to be really good. At the main and the natural, both Creek colonies going into spores to defend the gas and the minerals. I would prefer that Larva sunk 1 more drone into additional spore in the main base, but Zerg players like to just keep us on the edge of our seat by not doing as many spores as spectators were like. Oh, okay, so he does have a spore at the south of that hatchery, something that I missed in the initial glance at that main base. I really think that 2 spore colonies per base is absolutely important, and when you see players try and get away with just 1 at either of their bases, it's not very efficient at defending. So the mutas are here. The mutas are here, but the spire is on its way, and it's going to be completed very soon. And as soon as that spire finishes up, remember that there's an extra extractor for Larva, and the gas is just going to go very heavily in his favor. Action is doing something that Zergs don't generally have a chance to do, is build an additional hatchery. Oh, and he canceled it. He canceled the hatchery. So what is he going to do? He's just going to build more Zerglings, build more mutas. Action has just given up on, on trying to go macro here. What a crazy start to this series. ZVZ always keeping you at the edge of your seat. The Lings run in. Remember, this was critical that the Lings move in here and do damage on the main base. Is he going to get that spore? Spore colony getting really low. So nice micro from Action. Okay, so he manages to get the first spore colony down. And if he can get the spire, the advantage can still be in favor for Action. He's got to get it quick. A lot of mutas are being built right away. Potentially Scourge are being built right away, actually. So let's see what pops out from those larva eggs. Oh, those Zerglings going to be running in here. A drill is going to have to occur. So it is Scourge. Can they be microed against? Oh, lots of hits going down on these mutas, but they still remain alive. So the mutas are still here, but Action, he's going to tap it anyway. So many links inside the base. He's not going to be able to take out the main. GG. All right, let's see here. Close your eyes as I bring up game number 2. All right, I asked you guys to close your eyes for a really long time. All right, here we go. Game number 2 is on its way. We have Larva taking the first victory here. He's spawning at the 11 o'clock position and Action down at the 5 o'clock position. Is he going to be able to win on Polaris Rhapsody? Long spawn distances. It is cross spawn, and this is one of those two base maps. So they're going to be very interesting. Players know exactly where their opponent is going to be spawning. The overlords are sent in the correct direction right away. Can Action take this? Will Larva just 3-0 his opponent? Larva getting better and better at Zerg versus Zerg. Action just still kind of an up-and-comer in this new scene for him. Is he going to be able to hold on and get into his first finals ever? It's very, very important that Action gets this win. You know, he doesn't have the fighter mentality that Larva has. Larva has strong mentality. He's been able to persevere in a lot of different tournaments these days, and he's kind of overcome his own self-deprecating weakness. He kind of had to go through this metamorphosis phase to become the Zerg player that he is. And he played more games than any other player for months on hand, on ladder, just on Battle.net, to be able to improve his skill far beyond comprehension. So now that's why we see Larva competing to be in a finals game. And he will be playing against Best in the finals, as Best has advanced to the finals. I am excited. If it's Larva or Action, who is going to make it? So the Overlords getting close to each other in the middle of the map. We see that the Extractor finishing up for action again. He's going off this one base first. We can see that the spawning pole coming up pretty quickly here, but the hatchery has been put down, so he does have that expansion down for him too. Already up to 12 supply for action, as he is focusing on getting drones early on here. And Zerglings, of course. He's got 6 Zerglings added in. And are they going to be able to do any damage this time as they go across the map? Bouncing away. I really think that Larva's in a good position to win this game again. Why? Because Larva is so good at defending against this early aggression type of build. He knows that these Zerglings are coming along also, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Can Larva just take an easy 2-0 stance in this best of 5? I think there's no chance for action if he loses this game. He needs to absolutely tie up this series and, in fact, maybe get a 1-game lead. It may take him all 5 games to be able to win this series. So the drones do come down. They do a good pushing on the Zerglings here. All the drones stay alive. Oh my goodness, but the hatchery is taking considerable amount of damage. It looks like Larva's going to go for it one more time. He does pick off a Zergling. He micros around in here once more. 2 drones do go down pretty quickly, but the Zerglings are down at the bottom of the ramp again. The drones helping in here at the same time, but the Zerglings defend. And remember, he's got the 2 hatch advantage now. And the single Zergling runs away. The cowardice of that Zergling as it returns toward its hive mind. Action. Fails to win at that moment. Fails to take down that hatchery. And again, is going to have to resume a weird game in order to take a victory. So you can see it looks like a sunken colony is going to be going down. Larva is just going to go massive amount of Zerglings here. I do not blame him. He might be able to just win this game outright with the amount of Zerglings that will be on their way. 17 supply, so he's already 2 supply ahead here. And you can see that the blue is just continuing to streak down. So Larva, he's going to identify that the sunken colony is inside that main base of action. He's going to have to hold back. There's no way that he can engage right now with the amount of Zerglings that are surrounding this sunken. Meanwhile, what Action is doing is just trying to get tech. He's trying to defend around the ability to get tech. The lair is done, and now he's trying to get the spire too. Along with this, an evolution chamber is on its way. Very interesting that the Evo chamber is on its way. Okay, a cancel here. What is he? Wait, why is he going for the Evo chamber again? And why did he cancel it? Oh, he didn't want it to finish. What he's doing is he's trying to use it as a wall to prevent the units to get in there from getting into the sunken colony very easily. A very smart move by Action. Oh, and it looks like he will end up losing that building south of the extractor. The sunken colony is getting hit now, and the drones are also getting hit by all these Zerglings. Is he going to be able to hold on? So many drones have gotten lost. I think this is going to be the end for Action, but mutas are being morphed. Maybe he's just going to try and take homage to the fact that he does have mutas being built. Just one single muta pops out of an egg at this point. Larva should be able to defend this. It's going to take a long time for the muta to get there. There's a lot of Zerglings that can run in. And as long as you have, I think 2 Zerglings can get picked off pretty easily. But you know what? Larva could kind of run these mutas amok. And if he distracts those mutas, there may be an opportunity for him to run 4 to 6 Zerglings, and what he's trying to do is just be a distraction. There are 2 different ways you can get into that natural base, and so he's going to send the Zerglings over to the right, keep them hidden, and then sneak right on in. Alright, so he's got a lot of Zerglings. In fact, I think he's just going to bum rush at this point. There is no way that 2 mutas is going to be able to hold this off. The sunken colony is half on health, and this is just a detrimental position to be in for Action. Larva pushes in. He's going to try and take his victory march right now. Is he going to be able to take down the sunken colony and take a 2-0 lead? Oh my god. I guess that was a really good defense here. I did not expect that to happen. The mutas plus the drones kill off those Zerglings very, very quickly. That was poor play by Larva. He did not execute when he needed to, and now he's kind of in a bad position. Can he win though? 9 supply for Larva. So Larva actually wasn't building any drones behind this either. His income is really, really bad. Meanwhile, 17 supply for Action with kind of an about face in this game now because he failed to take down that sunken colony. I love the trickiness of what Action did by building evolution chambers to keep the Zerglings away. It pretty much ensured his ability to stay in this game. And now we're seeing that Action might be able to win. Oh my gosh, this was unpredicted here. So Spore Colony defending the natural base. Larva's just droning up very, very heavily. Oh, a late Spore Colony coming in here. And Immuta actually finding a sweet spot to be able to hit these drones. The drones are going to need to be microed over to the Spore Colony. I would almost bring them all into the natural base at this point. The Spore Colony will be done soon enough. There's no way that the Muta can stop it. So he's just got to keep hitting these drones as best as possible. A few more Mutas being added in, but they cannot just take out the Spore Colony straight up. Even 4 Mutas is really bad against 1 Spore Colony. So he's going to have to be very, very careful here. The Lynx from Larva trying to go for a jailbreak again. And only 2 are going to really make it out as they head down towards the south. And Larva is just playing a massively defensive game right now. Are we going to see a high-tech game? No way. No, we're going to see a high-tech game. But oh, what is this going to end up like? I don't see Action ever taking an expansion. That's why I don't see this game going into high-tech. So I don't even want to tease it here. But he is trying to take down that. Oh my god. Okay, so I wasn't even processing this. So he brought a drone in and he built a sunken colony at the natural base, which is amazing. So he's defending this sunken colony now, which is hitting the hatchery. And I don't think that Larva can stop this. The sunken colony is in by here. This is quite amazing. So he's trying to do it one more time. He's trying to stop this sunken colony, but only a few Zerglings at a time is not going to be enough. He's taken out the Spore Colony. And that's it. GG. What a game. Let's go back real quick. Let's go back. Because my eyes were really poor here, I want to be able to see when that drone went down. Okay, so this is an absolutely pivotal moment. And I did not see the drone under here. When the Mutas chase over to the right, following the Zerglings, now there's a drone that comes in. And that drone comes down and starts building. So because it was building, I thought at this point when I saw it, that Larva was building that sunken, but this is actually his own. And as soon as those Zerglings came over and tried to attack the creep being constructed, that's when I thought something was off. This is hilarious here. Alright, let's go to game number 3. ZVZ, you gotta have some quick eyes for this game. Wow. All right. So we've got a potential best of 5, full 5 game series that can go on here. Larva took game number 1, Action took game number 2. Really exciting game number 2, actually. Lots of really cool tricks. The entire game could be analyzed very in depth for a ZVZ analysis. You know, it's all about taking that experience from playing thousands of games and being able to apply that, you know, in real time. And so I liked the situation where he's like, I need to defend the sunken colony. I can use buildings to defend it. That was really cool. Then he goes, well, I can't really build Zerglings, but I can bring a drone, build it on your creep, and suddenly you can't do anything about it. That was amazing. So are we expecting Action one more time to go for a fast spawning pool? 9 pool build. We'll see. So both players sitting on 9 supply. This is that critical moment. We don't see an Overlord being built. 200 supply is about to get hit very shortly here. Larva. And he goes for the spawning pool. Action for the spawning pool. So we both got 9 pools for these Zerg players. Larva at the top right, Action at the left. I am your host, BisuDagger. Thank you for watching DanJJing Star League Season 3 Semifinals Day 2. Winner of Larva versus Action will be playing against Best in the finals. Loser goes to the 3rd, 4th place match. So the extractor on the way for both these players. Now, this is Transistor, so remember that it is a 3-player map. Both players sent their Overlord down towards the bottom right position. I do feel like there tends to be a more frequent spawn of the top right and the bottom right. But in this case, we're going to have Action who spawns over at that 9 o'clock position instead. Spawning pool completed. And Just continue to watch the gas here for both these players. Very important to see what they decide to do. Our Zergling's going to come out very quickly. It looks like there's drift marks on that tile set right there. You know, what kind of tank has been doing drifting? You know, probably you would think that vultures are the vehicle that would drift in StarCraft 1, but vultures hover. So I would imagine that they don't leave any tread marks on the ground. Oh, so the overlords pass each other. Both players know where they need to send their Zerglings, and they're going to meet in the middle? Are they just going to go for a battle? Yeah. Both players decide, you know, it's safest here no matter what to go for the battle. Action wins pretty heavily here. Both players have used their gas to get Lair Tech, by the way. So Lair is on the way. And more Zerglings trying to meet Action. Larva's got to be pretty upset. He lost a battle very easily to Action Zerglings. You're seeing a lot of backwards Fs on the chat screen, by the way. Okay, so there is a defense here by Action. He's just coming back home, uses defender's advantage. He's easily isolated 2 Zerglings, but are several more Zerglings going to come from behind? Larva, he's just baiting him out. He's baiting him out so that way he can get more Zerglings inside the base to hit drones. But you know what? Action's managed to get 2 Zerglings over there too. How many Zerglings are going to go down? It looks like the blue of Larva's Zerglings has been cleared out inside the main base, so that is done. Meanwhile, the 2 Zerglings of Action still harassing Larva, and then he's actually going to be able to get his Zerglings out. The rest of the army is on its way. Meanwhile, oh my gosh, Larva has 6 Zerglings, 5 Zerglings, something like that, that are allowed to come in here and attack the drones inside the main base. The carnage is going to be huge now. Lots of drones should be going down at this point, but it looks like a complete base trade scenario as Action has to do equal damage. Is he going to be able to do it? The drones are getting killed off. Oh my god, the drones are on retreat right now. Action trying to keep alive as many drones as possible. A sunken colony finishes at his base. Now, both players do have money. Larva just sunking in a few more into his drones. 150 minerals for Action. Both these players are playing really well today. They are harassing like crazy. This is a brutal ZVZ. And you really can't say one is favored at this point. You know, the sunken colony is huge. If we go by this map in particular, this particular game, I guess you gotta say you gotta favor Larva because he does have the defensive sunken already finished. 10 supply, so he does have that 2 supply lead, although it's very close, and Zerglings are the majority of that supply. Both players microing like crazy. The Zerglings do get in here. It's more important than anything that he just gets these drones. Oh, so he cancels a drone because he really needed to make sure that he was mining efficiently. And being able to keep that drone alive and mine is very important. So he cancels, opts not to build a creep colony here, and continues with that worker advantage. So remember, both players are sitting, you know, even Action sitting on quite a lot of gas, but he can't really spare the worker to make a spire. Both these players can't build spires. Both these players have overlords in position to be able to scout out their opponent, so they know exactly what's going on. They're crunching numbers. What they do is they look and say, okay, when are you putting down a spire, like Action is putting down now? When are you building drones versus Zerglings? And if that Zergling count gets too low and that drone count too high, then the opponent can build more Zerglings and engage in. But both these players, they're just not faltering. They're building drones. They're not going to do anything else. They won't flinch on building more Zerglings unless the opponents build Zerglings first. 5 drones for Larva. Not many drones at all. Action, I believe he has more drones at this point, and he is mining gas. So he's trying to keep that gas count high. I think that Larva is behind at this point. I think that he's just too far behind. Action is in a really good spot. As soon as this spire finishes up, he will be able to build 1 or 2 mutas, and this is going to be a really tough game for Larva to win. If Action comes up here, this is crazy. Action would be one win away from his finals. Oh, Larva just calls it. Larva calls it GG. And can you believe it? Larva might get knocked out by Action. This is amazing. Action the Mafia Zerg. Who did he threaten? You know, did he tell Larva that he might break his legs if he wins and advances to the finals? Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. All right, game number 4 on the way. Action versus Larva. I am your host, BisuDagger, and as we do continue, Larva down, Action up. And this is going to be on the map Fantasy. So we do have our 4-player map out and about. What are the players going to do? Sitting at 6 food supply. Let's see how high this gets and how rough this gets. Okay, so an Overlord heading out to scout on the map too. This has been quite a fun day, and you know what? In between this, or not in between this, before this, I was watching a lot of the Korean StarCraft League, having some fun with that. Although the best of 5 format really throws me off with the round robin too. So many games. You know what's absolutely killer though? Those TVTs. I really hope for 3-0s and TVTs. Just the fastest of 3-0s. Just, you know, BBS every time. That's what I would do if I was a Terran player to avoid long Terran versus Terrans. And if I hear the metaphor that TVT is like chess and that's why we should like it anymore, it's just I'm gonna blow my brains out because I'm very, very tired of the matchup. It's exhausting. As a caster, you only have so much breath, and as a solo caster, it's even tougher. You know, when Flash for the Win and I cast together, and we're casting a TVT, we learn way too much about our personal lives by the end of that, because what else is there to talk about? Hey guys, we see that there's an expansion taken by Action this time. He hasn't gone for the faster spawning pool. Can he make this work? Larva, he's got the gas, he's got the spawning pool, he knows what's up. He's going to make this a very, very exciting game. So he hasn't seen where his opponent is, and he does not know. Oh my god, Larva, he's going to go spawning pool first, but he's going to take that hatchery. This is very, very interesting. This could be a very, 2-base Zergling speed all in from Larva, and I would love to see if he does go for that. The spawning pool and extractor now on the way for Action. It's really about the tech here for Larva. Okay, so he's getting close to that 100. Are we going to see that 100 just instantly disappear? Let's watch at the top. Oh, yep. So we are going to see the speed build on its way. Let me just check that everything is looking good. Yes, okay. Sorry. I don't trust OBS anymore because I've had so many visual defects. Hopefully you guys can see and hear well as I do provide this cast for you. I'm really doing the best I can. And I'm just always a ragtag caster here. Zerglings are moving out for Larva. Meanwhile, the evolution of that hatchery inside the main base for Action. He's working towards that lair tech. You gotta love this. Larva, he continued to mine gas, so he's going to go towards layer 2, but he's going to have a lot of Zerglings early on. Or he should have a lot of Zerglings early on. Both players sitting at even supply right now, not able to break away from that supply gap. Sitting on 2 bases, this could be one of the more interesting games between these 2 players. Interesting, I say, in terms of one of the later games that we might see. Real Muta versus Muta micro. Kind of like the old days, when Muta versus Muta used to be a thing. but lately we just have only seen Ling versus Ling battles. These players have mastered it so much that they refuse to hold back on the Ling versus Ling battles. They know that if they can win here, then why even bother to go to the Muta roulette? Okay, so there is a creep colony at the front. Oh, Spire on the way now too. That's just a precautionary creep colony. So both players got their Spires, and it looked like the timings were pretty similar between the 2 players, so nothing critical there. You know, this is one of those interesting spots for Action. He has to defend across a double bridge, so he's not trying to defend up a ramp. He's not trying to defend against a single bridge or gap. He's got 2 bridges, but the bridges are small. So as long as you can just kind of maneuver your groups of Zerglings into 2 small groups, you can defend against those bridges very, very effectively. But you got to be careful. You got to be on the ball. So, Action, he does respond there. As soon as he sees the Zerglings come in, he just creates a perfect concave, sits on top of that bridge, and holds it back. We're definitely going to be seeing Muta versus Muta play. Look at the gas is really, really similar. Both players are approaching that 400 gas as the Spires are about to finish up. And we will be seeing Mutas in this game very, very shortly. 500 out of 600 HP as that Spire just tries to crank faster and faster. Action. He wants to win here because he knows this will put him in the finals. Should he lose, he has to take it to 5. And then that's it. that's the final. That's the ace match. And both these players, Larva really wants to get there. Action doesn't want to risk this coin flip anymore. So the Zerglings defend pretty well along with that sunken. Oh my god, the Zerglings could get in here and just approach the drones. A Muta pops out though, and the Zerglings aren't going to be able to go any further. They're going to have to bounce back. Was a drone picked off potentially at the natural base? Look at all the Zerglings coming in. Are they going to be able to get around and an effective surround on the Zerglings of Action? 2 Zerglings get inside the main base. The Mutas are going to chase at the main base. Meanwhile, at the natural, lots of Lings are going to defend. Is Larva done here? Is Larva going to be able to even hold on? The Mutas do a great cleanup. An extractor on the way. Great way to save that drone that was at the natural base so he does not lose it. Meanwhile, Zerglings are going to go for a counterattack. Larva is going to have to go for a massive hold here if he wants to make it to the finals. Everything is on the line. The Mutas are going to be heading down south. The Sunken Colony, the Mutas, the Scourge are all here to defend, but that Sunken could go down pretty fast. And guess what? It can't unroot to go to defend inside the main base either. Lots of Mutas here. The Mutas going to be able to pick off the few Zerglings that are sitting at the main. And, oh my god, Zerglings right inside that main base of Action. The Mutas, you can see why they're coming back. It looks like the Lings are going to be able to pick off quite a few drones. Wow! How many drones died? 2, 3? I think at least 3 drones died from that attack, from that engagement. A huge Muta count for Larva as he does manage to push forward. Looks like one of his overlords did get picked off, so he's actually food supply blocked at 29. There he goes. Got another overlord finished up. Muta versus Muta battles are going to be on their way very, very shortly here. You can see gas mining as quickly as possible for Action as he knows he needs to get that Muta count higher and higher. Larva great with his ZVZ Muta skills. Can he hold on here? He's got to chip away. No Scourge. Scourge being the flavor of choice lately, doing massive amounts of Scourge. Yes, 4 come out. They do attack immediately. A great glaive shot from Action as the Scourge pop out. He's actually still managing to hold on here. Now he's going to go chase with the Scourge option himself. The Mutas being very microed very well by Larva. Looks like he might have the lead. Oh my god, the Scourge coming in from the north and they do not collide. A great reaction again from Larva. Every time it looks like he just ping-pongs back. This is like putting 2 same-sided magnets together and every time they just bounce away. The Scourge cannot connect. And it looks like Larva might be able to win this battle here. 4 Mutas to 3 Mutas. Oh, the Scourge come in and they hit again. It weakens all those 3 Mutas. And Larva, who looked like he had a lead, is now back to even footing. No drones on that additional extractor. The additional gas going for Action here as he's going to be able to start getting a Muta advantage. 24 to supply to 30 supply. How is Larva going to be able to do this? I think Action just might make it into the finals here. Scourge heading towards the south. They're going to miss again. 1 Scourge getting picked off right away. Trying to scout out that main base. Try and get an idea of what Larva's main looks like. Well, there's quite a few Zerglings. So a pack of 4 sitting on the ground, camped and ready to go in there and pick off drones when possible. The Muse is going to come back down again with a few Scourge. 35 supply to 28 supply, still looking bad for Larva. How is he going to be able to hold on here? He does have 3 drones mining as much gas as possible, but he doesn't have minerals coming in here either. A really low mineral count as he tries to hold on. Larva, everything is at stake right now, and he definitely is at a disadvantage. Well, what can he do? He's got to hold on. He's got to get a higher Muta count and maybe just go to Muta Micro. But it's possible that both players just hold on here. If Larva can get really defensive, then what he can do is start to drone up, maybe get +1 attack or carapace for his Mutas. Sometimes when you sneak a single upgrade in, it makes the biggest difference when you have these Mutaless versus Mutaless battles. The Muta's going on the chase here, trying to get the Scourge at the tail end of the maneuvering from Action. Larva does try and come in here again. Is this going to be the final battle? If they do engage, there's so many Scourge. It looks like a huge Scourge advantage for Action, but he's on the run. Oh, all those Scourge try to go and collide. It looks like both players have Scourge that are about to hit. Really good micro. I think that was a great sacrifice for the single Muta for all of those Larva to be able to go, or all those Scourge to be able to go down. Larva's got to compose himself very well here. Maybe he could go on the aggressive and get a surprise move with his mutas to pick off drones. When you start to get up to 8 or more mutas, you can pick off drones really quickly by doing those drive-by attacks. Oh, a potential Overlord going to get taken out here. If the supply block occurs, then Larva may be able to even this game out for himself. Scourge hitting pretty hard, and in fact, he takes out a muta. He's got the winning count right now, 33 to 33. This supply count is even. Both players on fair footing. And it looks like Larva's been able to come back from his slight disadvantage here. And now, oh, the Scourge just coming right through. Doesn't connect with those mutas at all. Action. His micro is slipping here. He's not able to pay attention to all portions of the minimap as he's trying to keep his mutas alive and engage upon Larva. Larva's sending more Scourge back into battle. Has to send him far away from his main base and natural all the way up to where his muta is attacking on Action's footstep. Action coming to scrape in from the right side. There's nothing detecting him. He might be able to make it towards the space. He could go for drones right now. Okay, so what he did is escort his Scourge. Oh, why is he going back? Why is Action going back? I think this is a huge mistake. I think he should have gone in for drones too. But instead, Action's going in for drones. He's clearing out the drones at the natural base. The gas isn't going to be mined here. Oh, the Scourge missed one more time. They're all just chasing. But it's like watching a bunch of 5-year-olds chasing an adult. Well, they'll never catch up. It's forever a hopeless chase. Doesn't matter how many there are. An adult can always outrun 5-year-olds. All right. So the muta's coming back here once again to defend. Yeah, Action. GG. He lost too many drones. So many drones were lost. And now it's going to be a finals game. I don't know if I can handle finals. This has been crazy ZVZ. Definitely the best one of the tournament. Okay, we got the final game here, and it's going to be back on La Mancha again for the first map. Now onto the final map. We've got Larva, who's spawning at the top right, and we're going to have Action spawning down at the bottom right. Can Action hold on? SKTT1_Larva for all you SK Telecom T1 fans. And then oof, woof, jawooft. Am I getting any closer? Action just half-assing his name, but whole-assing this series. Doing really well. It's tied up 2-2. Larva, who has great ZVZ skills, is really being tested by Action right now. Action, he's got to harness his KT playoff mentality. When KT is in the playoffs, the Zergs do really well to step up and play their best games possible. And of course, poor Flash. Expected to win every game in the playoffs ever. Him losing would be just devastating for the KT Rawlster team. And whenever he loses, the team loses. It's just unfortunate. That kind of pressure put on a single player. But right now, the pressure is still pretty large. As we see Action crouching down, working for a 12 hatch. Larva's going to go for it. Oh, he's got the spawning pole. No, both these players got spawning poles. Very nice, very nice. Meanwhile, I am just trying to manage the email coming in on my mobile device and make sure that you guys don't get distracted in this finals game. So the Overlords are going to be approaching each other here. Larva looks like he has an Overlord that's really close to his opponent's base, so at least he's going to be able to see what's going on here. Action, unfortunately, sent Overlord in the wrong direction. He's not going to have an Overlord to scout out his opponent's base for quite a while now. Overlord's moving so slow. You know an upgrade that you never see in ZVZ? Speed Overlords. It doesn't happen unless it really needs to happen. Unfortunately, Overlords just... they get the shaft in this matchup for sure. You know what's less than Overlord speed in ZVZ is Overlord drop. How about that? You're more likely to see queens come out than Overlord drop to be used. There's just no way that it could fundamentally fit in. It's amazing how teching to Mutas fast has really transformed this game. It's completely eliminated the need for Hydralisks or Lurkers, and it's kind of sad because we all do like seeing Hydra Lurker style play. I wonder if there's ever a way that we could break that Spire mentality and break up this matchup. Alright, so Larva, he has taken an additional base, so has Action. So both these players, this is very similar to game number 4 here, which favored Larva over Action. You know, Larva, he does so well responding to Scourge, bouncing away and microing his attacks against Mutas. And so that's really the toughest thing when you do get to the Spire tech that Action is going to have to deal with. A lot of Zerglings coming in here for Action, though. And by basically being the aggressor here, you're taking on a pretty big challenge. You know that you're at a Zergling disadvantage. And I think that Action shouldn't push the issue here. And that is why he is bringing his Zerglings back. This is really, really good for him. There's no reason to lose all your Zerglings at this point in the game. I guess sometimes you can eliminate all the Zerglings and have an even scratch. Now, if you can go even Stevens against your opponent's Zerglings, that's fine. You've just taken the whole pressure game of Zerglings in the early stages off the table, which is really, really nice. But because Action didn't have a way to engage those Zerglings and just wipe them out, get to a 0 count, he is going to have to just bounce back here, defend at his home base, and work his way up towards that Spire tech. Lots of Zerglings coming from Larva, and now he's going to try and do the same thing. He's going to try and wipe that Zergling count, potentially get a few Zerglings in also to try and pick off drones. You'll see at some point, if there's a hole in this attack here, he'll take a few Zerglings and just head them up the ramp. Wow! Larva, he's just overwhelming right now. He's just overwhelming it. So many Zerglings, 23 supply to 17 supply. And even though Action has the defender's advantage, he's on the back footing. And he has chosen to go for more drones instead of Lings. And so this Ling count so high for Larva, it's going to force drones off the line. And in fact, he had to cancel the Spire. Wow. Action may just be done inside this game. It's looking like it's going to be it. More Lings coming into the natural base. How low is that hatchery right now? Even the Lings drawing back from on the map, withdrawn to the main base here, trying to hold as much as possible. Larva, he's gotten that hatchery down to a really low health point. And instead, oh, that's it! He's just going to call it GG. The advantage too good here. And Larva is going to advance into the finals in this best of 5 series. What a great ZVZ. Thank you guys for watching. The finals and the 3rd, 4th place match will be coming up shortly in this cast. So as soon as DanJJing puts them on, I will cast them. Thank you for watching the DanJJing Star League Season 3. I'm your host, BisuDagger. Congratulations to Larva, but great game from Action. We'll see him one more time as he does play the loser of, what was it, best... It wasn't best versus mine. How come I can't remember things anymore, guys? Oh, of course, if you didn't watch either the Flash versus Leche Chinese match, it was best versus Mong, by the way, in day number 1. So Mong versus Action is going to be played. But if you missed it, also you can watch Flash versus Leche, which is Leche and Jedi Chinese players. They play him 1-on-1, and then they do a 1 versus 2. And the results for all 3 games are just astronomically hilarious. Flash is a genius. All right, thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next matches.